What you're looking at is footage from the Mars rover Curiosity. This is footage from the rover. Its first footage as it landed on Mars. Or actually, it's already landed on Mars. What you're looking at right now is footage of Mars. This footage is coming from Mars rover, the last rover that was sent to Mars. The name was the Curiosity. This is the first footage taken by that rover. This is the surface of Mars. How cool is that? It kind of reminds me of Utah. Hiking through those deserts in Utah and Arizona. But yes, this is actually Mars. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So welcome to another video for physical science, and as I mentioned, we're talking about Mars today, the red planet. Now, why is it called the red planet? Well, we'll discuss that today in this video. Also, something of note, Mars is very much or resembles Earth the most out of all the planets in our solar system. This is the last planet of our inner solar system. So after this, we'll discuss our outer solar system. So the red planet, it's called this because of the iron that's mixed in with the dust, the surface. So as the iron mixes with oxygen, it creates rust, that brownish color that we're familiar with here on Earth. And that brownish red color is what gives Mars its color, its reddish color. Now, its atmosphere will look red at times too, because that dust, the iron that goes in with the dust, as it's thrown up into the atmosphere from the dust storms, okay, it gives the impression that you have red clouds as well. So that's Mars. So in 1976, the U.S. sent two probes, Viking 1 and the Viking 2. Okay, and this is some of the images that they got from these probes. So again, it looks kind of similar to our earthly deserts. And then in 2004, the space probe Spirit and Opportunity went into Mars. And then finally in 2011, the Curiosity. No, not Wally. That was actually 2008 Wally was, and I don't even think it was in Mars, actually. But anyways, 2011, the Curiosity, and there's the probe that you see. Okay, or there's a rover anyways that you see. Now, some interesting things about Mars as we study. Mars actually has the largest volcano. Now, it's no longer active, but the largest volcano in the solar system. It's called Olympus Mons. It is 3 times larger than Mount Everest. If you were to plant this volcano on planet Earth, it would extend from Cleveland, Ohio to Washington, D.C. So it is an enormous volcano. It is half the size of Venus, and its atmosphere is comprised of CO2 gas, and it's also much thinner. So keep in mind the fact that it's much smaller means that it has less of a gravitational pull, so it doesn't really maintain the atmosphere, the little atmosphere that it does have. Okay, it has ice caps on both poles. There's some talk that perhaps Mars at one point was filled with water. So as these seasons change, and Mars does have seasons, you can actually see those polar caps increase in size and decrease. And they have very large dust storms in Mars as well. So it's a very unstable climate. So if we were going to make a permanent colony there, we would definitely have to think it through as far as having suitable housing there. Mars has 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos. Okay, they're very small moons and they're irregularly shaped. So I'm going to end this video with footage from, actually it's not footage, but it's an animation of what the Curiosity rover looked like as it was landing on Mars. Okay, so enjoy. Alright, so here you have the rover, the Curiosity, and to get to this we had to go through this. So it took 8.5 months, or 253 days, 15 hours and 15 minutes, and 57 seconds to reach Mars. That's quite a long ways, but when you consider the fact that on average, Mars is about 225 million kilometers away from Earth, it's actually not too bad. So here you see the capsule going through the Mars atmosphere, and keep in mind that the Mars atmosphere is fairly thin, much thinner than that of Earth's. The Curiosity was launched on November 26, 2011. It cost $2.5 billion to make. It was 10 feet long, 9 feet wide, 7 feet tall, and 2,000 pounds. So it was basically like a little mini truck. And as you can see here, the Mars rover had a couple of ways of slowing down. The first you're going to see here is the parachute, which is a custom-made parachute designed specifically for this. And the heating capsule is coming off, and you can see the Mars rover inside, and it's coming down. So that parachute is slowing down its descent, and then you have a propulsion system then slowing it down even further. Now what's interesting here is that this propulsion system causes some problems because if you consider the Mars surface, it's basically a lot of fine rusted dust. And if that propulsion system gets too close to the surface, it's going to create a huge dust up, and some of those dust particles can damage the Curiosity. So there's another system that was made specifically for this mission, and you're going to see it right now as it lowers. It's tethered to the capsule, and it's going to lower it to the surface nice and slowly and safely. So consider again, this is a $2.5 billion experiment, so you want to take every precaution possible. And there it is. It's safe on the Mars surface, ready to explore and to do some science experiments. And that's going off, and it'll land on some other portion of the Mars surface. And there it is, the Curiosity on the Mars surface. Well, I hope you learned something new. Good luck in your studying, and thanks for watching.